everyone, my name is Jenna, but you guys can call me Jen. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to Q1 bullet journal video. We're going to be going through my beautiful bullet journal as it stands with Q1 being done. This is January, February, and March. There's a little bit of April speckled in here because it is April 10th that I'm filming this. So we have a little bit of April speckled in, but I'm going to focus just on these spreads from January, February, and March. This is the bullet journal. Just for quick specs, this is from Peter Popper Press. I got this on Amazon for like $15. It is a like typical bullet journal, speckled. I don't know how many pages it is. I had that information at one point, but I don't remember. It is 100 GSM. No, it's 120 GSM or something. Like, it's good quality paper. It does not bleed. I love this so much. I'm a little worried that this is already as big as it's getting, but we're just gonna make it work because it's very crafty and I love this. So, okay, we have a bunch of books and things that I have read that need covers that need to be cut out and done. I also just filled this page with extra books that I have not yet read, but I am planning on reading very soon so that I could like make it worth actually getting the books printed off from Staples. And I had a couple extra like photos for my other journal attached at the bottom. I just wanted to fill this up with, I have the spreads done. They just need the book thumbnails added in. And that's what we'll do today together because I thought that'd be kind of fun to do. Okay, we're just gonna get into this. I measured out originally way back when how big I wanted my thumbnails to be, and that's how I've made them. My first trip into Staples and working with Canva, the sizing was way off and they were really big. So some of the thumbnails in here for covers are too big, but that's what we're working with. Let's just get into it. So of course we have my cover in here, my cover image. Of course, I did end up getting my stamp and ink kit that I ordered, which I didn't have when I was doing these original videos, but we have it in. So it's 2024 reading journal. The goals page, amazing. And then we have this is how my pixel tracker is looking for my read every day. As you can tell, we're already a little bit into April, which I haven't, I didn't fill in yesterday's, I guess. Did I read yesterday? No, I did not. So, okay, there we go. Bing, bang, boom. We have my book shelf spread, which is going pretty well. I will say, you can't tell because I did it really carefully, but there's a few, like if you run your hand over my bullet journal, you can feel like there's raised paper every so often because there have been moments like this entire shelf I had to redo because of the way that I was doing my metallic pen adding bits, because I got these metallic pens specifically to mark a few things. So I'm gonna bring this up a little bit so you can see it more better. So we actually have here, like we have some shiny bits for the reread, and then I also have some silver for marking library books, and then pink for audiobook only, which I have been filling in as such. Sometimes they're a little hard to see. Sometimes I only put them at the bottom and that kind of a thing. But yeah, and then I also have changed the rating on a few books after thinking about them for a little longer. So I had to go in and cut a perfect size little like book sliver of paper and paste them in as you will. But this is what we're at for the whole year. There's, I think, enough space. If not, I will just add more books, I guess. Who knows? But yeah, this is where this page is. And then, of course, we have the books read spread. So we have, of course, just a giant list, and we are now 41 books in. I was 38 books at the end of March, and I have since read 3 in April. So 38 books for the first quarter of the year. And of course we have the DNFs page. So I had a tiny little thumbnail for the regrets made because this is one of my early DNFs, and then I needed a thumbnail for the Wren Hunt made up. So that's what I have here at the bottom of this paper, which is kind of funny because the Wren Hunt is such a tiny little thumbnail of a photo and it's a black cover and it's just, it's not very good quality. I mean, like, it's good quality for what it is, but like it's a teeny tiny little guy. Which is hard to see. For what it is, for what this page is, it's going to work just fine. So the paper that I get this printed on, which is probably a mistake because it's quite thick, is the like color photo paper at Staples. There's like an option for a specific like photo paper, so it's glossy on one side and it's very, very thick, very good quality, like actual photo paper. It makes the thumbnails very, very, very stiff, which is fine. But I probably should have done a thinner thumbnail paper because these are just generally quite thick images to work with, but that's okay. They're just really good quality, I guess. So that is my DNF spread. 2 DNFs of the year so far, so not too terrible. There have been books that I should have DNF'd, but alas. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to run through, like, whenever I have a DNF, I've saved thumbnail spots for them, and then I'm going to do like the title and then highlight it in gray and by whoever, and then the reason why I DNF'd it, and then the month and a little like pink at the end. So these are both in February. And then I decided, as an after effect, because this, you can probably tell, is not the same color paper. I took this from a different like scrap bullet journal that I have. Like, I think I got it from like the dollar store that I use for extra paper, and I made a Dutch door with it just because I felt like the DNF game was going to be a little bit more intense this year, but it's not as of yet. But that's okay. I can always cut it out if I don't need it. And then we have the genre page, which again, I added this little flappy thing, which has the boxes essentially for me to know which month is what, which color, essentially, because in my previous journals, I had a third graph that was like just counting how many books I read a month, and that's how I knew what color was what month. But for this one, I only have these 2 graphs, so I thought just a little legend in the middle here would be perfect. Kind of a nice little addition. And then we have all of the readings and genres that I have read so far this year. This is my books hauled. I actually just got one today, which you can probably see in the corner here. It is an Arc of Mirrored Heavens. So we have Rebecca Roanhorse, Arc, Simon, and Schuster. And today is April 10th. And I've just been keeping track, not like of individual books, but each time I go buy books, because I'm the kind of person who can't just buy one book at a time. I need to buy multiple. So we have like the first trip of the year, the second trip, or the second store, the third store, etc., etc. So I have bought a number of books this year. I think I've acquired 45 with this one. So I need to do better at not buying books. I don't have any pre-orders in April, which is the next page. So we have my pre-order spread here, which is just also my 2024 releases page, which has been very handy to have because a few of them have moved. So both The Witch's Guide and Heavenly Tyrant have moved to later in the year. The Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping moved to September. It's a later publishing date. And then Heavenly Tyrant has been pushed to December, but even Shra and Jay Zhao themselves have said that they don't think it's going to come out in December. It's probably going to come out next year. So I've just moved them down. And I've also been keeping track of if I've pre-ordered the book and then if I've received the book. So if I've received the book, I've colored it green. And then if I've read the book, I've scratched it out as well. And then we also have whether I've requested it from the library and it's been fulfilled, or whether I've just gotten it through the library. So like Emily Wilde, for example, I knew it was coming out in January, and when I went to go request it, I always look first to make sure I'm not requesting a book that's already in their library, and it was, so I just put it on hold, and I've already read it and loved it. This is how I've been keeping track. Our book bracket so far, we filled out 3 different books. We have Forest Sector, 100,000 Kingdoms, and Shadow of What Was Lost. Some of these have been easy because they've just been the only 5-star that month. The only one that was tricky was February because it was between Chain Gang All-Stars and 100,000 Kingdoms, and I had to pick an N.K. Jemisin because N.K. Jemison's my girl. So yes, and of course top 10 is going to be something that I figure out near the end of the year. And then of course we have my ABC Book Challenge, which, as you can see, is getting really full, which I'm very happy with. The trickier ones that I have no books on my TBR for, I like did them as dots originally, because the rest of them, G, I, J, K, and O, originally, all these up here, I do have options for. I have a Storygraph challenge where I have this same challenge and I'm like tracking the books that I could use for that challenge in there. I have little dots for the harder ones, like the Z, the X, and the Q, and the A as well. That one's a hard one. I do have options for it in my Storygraph, but it was one of those ones that I was like, I don't have any on my like actual like physical TBR that I could use for that. U was an interesting one because I didn't realize an Unkindness of Ghosts would work for it, because Anne doesn't actually count as a word in my mind. So Unkindness of Ghosts is what I use there. My 24 and 24 book bingo is sort of coming along. I keep forgetting this is a thing, but I have read 2 of the books. It's just one of those things where I always look at this and go like, oh yeah, I have to work on this. I have to read some of these. So we'll see how this one goes by the end of the year. Hopefully in quarter 2, it's better. It's better filled out. All right, so the next page here is 12 recs from friends. I ended up getting all the thumbnails, and as you can see, these are the really big thumbnails. Like compared to these guys, the thumbnails are quite a bit bigger. This was my fail. This was my failed measurement in Canva. I've also added in, I'm not sure if you can see it all the way from up there, but we have the star stickers. So when I was looking originally on random sites, I follow people on TikTok and stuff. I was following Little Inklings and I saw that they had this page of star rating stickers. It was sold out when I bought stuff from them originally, but I ended up going back in and deciding to stick star stickers on there because I think that looks fun. It's a nice way to know when I've read the book and like what I rated it. And I'm also doing it color coded to the month that I finished them in. So that's kind of how I've been doing that. But yeah, I have this star rating sticker page now that I don't know what else I'm gonna do with these star stickers. We'll see, but I will use them eventually. This is what this is. And then I've decided to do my rereads divided into each quarter. So these are the only 3 rereads I had in quarter 1. So the rest of this bookshelf is gonna remain empty. Oh well. Quarter 2, we'll see what I end up rereading, in quarter 3 and quarter 4. So that's how I've decided to divvy that up. Now we have my series page, my series tracker, which I've ended up adding a couple to, but I think I've been doing a fairly good job with keeping up to date on my series. I ended up adding and finishing Foundryside. This is the only one that I finished so far this year, but I do plan on finishing the Inheritance cycle very soon when I read Inheritance by Christopher Paolini. I do really want to read the Inheritance trilogy, which is by N.K. Jemisin. I'm going to keep working on Murderbot as I run through it. And I just have a bunch of other ones. Also Hollow Smoke, I'm gonna finish this 4th one soon. It's just little things like that. It's all stuff that I do wanna be reading. This is how we've worked with it. And again, I'm just marking these circles with the month that I've read the books in. Pink is January, purple is February, and green is March. This is still empty because it's my 2024 stats page. And then finally, we get to the very first monthly spread, which if you've been following me on TikTok, I've done videos of like each individual month with like a flip through of the spreads. So this is January. I read 13 books, 5,256 pages, listened to 64 plus hours of audiobooks, and I read across 5 genres. And we're just gonna flip through. So this is what I did to lay out January. And then the very first couple spreads here are very simple because I didn't really know what I wanted to work with, what I wanted to do. And again, these are the big thumbnails. So with the covers. Oh, and I used to write the title. That's so funny. I don't do that anymore. I very rarely write the title, so I don't know how long that lasted of the book. I should start doing that again, but I think the cover thumbnail is enough to know what it is. Anyways, I've also kept up the theme of the 3 washi tapes, which has been really handy for me, and just visually as well. We have The Will of the Many, which is one of my favorite spreads in here. I had so much to say that I just went across the blue. And then this one, which is We Need New Stories by Nesrinda Malik, which is the first nonfiction of the year. We have The Surviving Sky by Kritika Rao, which I'm very proud of this spread because I knew exactly that this was from one of my National Geographics, and flipping through, I knew it would match this perfectly because this cover has like the purple and the lightning, and this has purple and lightning. Mask of Mirrors, and then we have the first series spread. So this is the Founders Trilogy spread. I ended up doing 3 individual spots for each of the books. So yeah, it's just a simple, easy spread. And then I did like series thoughts in here. And then this is a door because I thought it would be kind of fun to add in a door to this archway. Why? I don't know, but it stays open. It's like a dynamic piece of something. I don't know. The Founders Trilogy series spread. Then we have Far Sector by N.K. Jemisin, the first 5-star of the year. And then we have The Salt Grows Heavy, the first 1.5 star. So we have a 5-star and the lowest rated, right back to back. But I thought this was funny. Oh, it came apart. Sometimes the magazine pages that I use just really don't stay glued, which is fine. Sometimes I go back in and just pop a piece of tape behind it. But for something little like this, I rarely look at this page, so it's fine. And we have Monstrilio, which again, I thought these shapes were kind of fun. I mimicked the shapes on the cover. Enter Ghost by Isabel Hamad. It was nice, and this reminded me of like, they don't do Macbeth, they do Hamlet, but I thought it was funny that I had a page from Macbeth that I used because it's Shakespearean. And then we have February. So in February, I read 12 books, and I had a vast TBR that I sort of figured out and sort of finished. It was all My Friends Pick My TBR, so this is the My Friends Pick My TBR month. I DNF'd 2 books. I read 1 nonfiction, 4,567 pages, and 48 3/4 hours listened to. The first book in February was Kimberly Lemming's That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon, which I thought was kind of fun and colorful. And then we have Bricks and Mortality by Anne Granger. Again, kind of fun patterns to go with it to give the feeling of the color scheme and also the feeling of a small English town, I don't know. And then we have Chain Gang All-Stars, which when I found this page in my National Geographics, I thought it was great that I had Duel to the Death, because that is what this is about. And this is like a newspaper clipping, that kind of a thing. And then these are X's for stacks. So little things like that, just that's how I usually bring together some of the pages that I do. I just find things that, one, go with the cover, and two, are like thematic to the book. The nonfictions are always really tricky because their covers are so simple that it's so hard to find anything interesting to add. So Angela Davis's Freedom is a Constant Struggle just has big red. Red, that's about it. We have another series spread. We have Aragon series spread, which I ended up actually finding this image and the Zarok sword image online from Paolini's shop, which I just took and printed. And then again, we have one section here, we have another section here, which was really small, but I didn't really need that much space to talk about Eldest. And then this is Brissinger's spot, and then this is going to be Inheritance's spot, which is also very small. So I might end up having to add a piece of paper to like fold in somewhere if I want to do my series thoughts on this. But overall, I really, really love this spread because these mountains at the bottom and Zarok fit so perfectly in the corner. I don't know, I like it. And you can tell also like when I read these books. So this is book number 18, 27, and 32. So 27 and 32, these two were read in March, but this one was read in February. Then we have Vampires of El Norte, which again, I'm very proud of the spread because of the lightning in the skies, because this is the exact right colors for the cover. I thought it was great. And I dug for like 20 minutes trying to find this because I knew I had a Horus ephemera somewhere. So I did find it, and I'm very happy with that. And then we have Where Peace is Lost, another sci-fi one. I always love my sci-fi spreads. They just look so pretty. And then we have A River Enchanted, which I like this subtle like scrapbook paper that I had. I don't know why. I just did. And then we have Ren Jones's Practical Potions and Premeditated Murder. And then again, we have another series spread. So this is one of the series spreads where I have the two other covers here. So I guess I should probably fill them in. I haven't read them yet, so maybe I'll just cut them out and get them ready as to where I will put them on the page, because I didn't really think that through with this one. Broken Kingdoms, which is book 2, and then The Kingdom of Gods, which is book 3. So book 2 is going to be down here, and then book 3 is going to be up here, because that just makes the most sense. And it's going to bother me a little bit that these thumbnails are a different size than this thumbnail, because this is one of the big ones that I printed off the first time and it was not the right choice, but that's okay. We'll see how it goes. I think it'll be fine. It'll work. It'll be fine. And then where did the other one go? It's right here. So yeah, again, with this spread, I ended up finding this image here, which is fan art from the series online. Just printed it for my own uses because I'm not going to use it to sell anything. It's just for my own bullet journal. And then this is from a magazine because I thought that this pattern in the buildings really matched the pattern in the thumbnail of the covers, because these covers are so beautiful, but also so like they don't really have anything to do with the series. Those two thumbnails are now placed and ready to go when I actually read those books. And then here we have another one. So now this is where we start with the thumbnails that I have not yet printed off. I have now printed off, but I just didn't when I was making the spreads. So we have Penance. First up, I really need to cut these corners better. I don't like that. Jesus. Which is gonna go right here. Oh, it works perfectly. But yeah, if you're ever curious as to where I get a lot of my supplies, Etsy is the biggest one, especially for these like that have these like stickers and ephemera. I just literally looked up journal ephemera, and there's a lot of places that have just like packages of it that'll send it to you. I made another order of individual packages from the same seller because I just love their packages so much. They just work really well for me, and they have so many different things in them that I find so exact for doing these spreads. And then I have National Geographic magazines, and then pages from old dictionaries and books and stuff. So anyways, so yeah, that's Penance, and then the Murderbot books. And then that brings us to March, which is exciting, but this is also where there's a lot of thumbnails that are missing. So in March, I ended up reading 13 books, read across 3,836 pages, and then listened to 38 3/4 hours of audiobook. And then here's the genre wheel. I'm quite proud of this visual spread. It looks really pretty. I love it. It makes me happy. Love this little turtle guy. Anyways, all right, first spread in here is a series spread. It's the Lycanius trilogy, which I'm currently reading this one. So this will be filled in probably April, but As for right now, we got Shadow of What Was Lost up here in this corner. I think this is an X-ray of a sword from a National Geographic. I think, oh my God, you too. Okay, so this is one of the ones where it just like, I don't want to even try glue this because this sword has been giving me so much grief. I'm just gonna tape it because I don't have the patience to deal with this for the upteenth time. There, that's good enough. That'll stay in then. Then we have You Exist Too Much by Zaina Arafat, which is lovely. Quite like this spread. And then Lore of the Wilds, which took me a while because I was cutting out these trees from black pages in National Geographic, so I think it works pretty well. And then Emily Wilde's Map of the Other Lands. And then we have another one here that I need to cut out, which is For Confetti Realms by Nadia Shamas. And that's gonna go there. And then more that I need to cut. So this is where we get into the parts of this that I just am gonna do arts and crafts. This is The Scourge Between Stars, and this is Hell Followed With Us. And this one is Hell Followed With Us. I got a lot of my scrapbooking supplies from my mom. She had a lot of leftover stuff from when she used to do scrapbooking when I was a kid. She just gave me most of it, which is really nice because there's been lots of nice papers in there and different kind of things like that. On to the next page. Death of Ivagoji, another one of those oversized ones. And then we get this one, which I really did not like. Another 1.5 star. The cover is pretty, so it has that going for it. This picture was also from the Aragon set of pictures I used, but I just couldn't find a spot for it on that spread. So I kept it for when I read a dragon book, and it fits this, so... This one is Nimona, and this one is Big Ship at the Edge of the Universe. So this next two. And this one's just gonna float because I really didn't have that many thoughts about Nimona. I had to kind of just ramble my way through my thoughts in here to even fill the page. So, you guys ever find that? When you're reading a book, you just have very little thoughts about it? That was me with Nimona. But that's alright. Thumbnail. This one is Big Ship at the Edge of the Universe. Again, another sci-fi, as you can tell from all the star stuff. There's that one, and then that gets us into April, which is not part of this, but all right, so that was quarter one. We have the thumbnails I needed to get in here. Now in here, I read 38 books, which was fantastic, a very good number for quarter one. These are now in here. The spreads are complete. Yeah, let me know down below in the comments what you think of my first 3 months of spreads. I'm very intrigued to know if you guys do anything like this as well, if you guys get crafty with it. I'm very happy with how crafty I have been, truly. It's been such a nice thing to have every week. As I finish up a book, I just kind of get crafty with it and like pick out some nice colors that go with the cover and you know, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, I've just been having a lot of fun with my little scrapbooky book journal. As we flip back through here, now that everything is complete, it's been an interesting first few months of the year, but I think overall it's been pretty good. And I think the books, at least, I found a couple new favorites, a couple new authors that I really like, and that's all you can really ask for. But yeah, that's how things are kind of shaping up in the book journal. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you on the flip side, and I'll see you in another video very soon. Bye!